SHE turned OCR therapy sessions in an affair. My name is Ethan. I am 33 years old, and I honestly thought that going to therapy would save my marriage. Instead, it showed me who my wife really was, and who our therapist really was, too. I met Olivia when I was 25. She was standing in front of a food truck in the rain, arguing with the guy inside about why extra cheese should not cost a whole extra pound. Her hair was tied up in a messy knot. Her eyeliner was smudged. Her shoes were soaked. She still looked like the most put together person on that entire street. I was behind her in line, holding my umbrella, watching this tiny war about melted cheese. When the guy finally gave up and said, "Fine, no charge," she turned around and our eyes met. She smiled at me, wide and unbothered, like she hadn't just fought a miniature legal case over shredded cheddar. "Worth it?" she said, lifting the box of hot food in victory. My mouth spoke before my brain did. "Want the umbrella as part of the prize?" I asked. She tilted her head. "Are you offering the umbrella or yourself with the umbrella?" I pretended to think. "Both," I said. "Limited time deal." She laughed. Actually laughed. The kind of laugh that makes you want to hear it again. We ended up standing under my umbrella together, sharing fries, talking about nothing at all. 2 weeks later, we were officially dating. 2 years later, we moved in together. 3 years later, we got married. Small ceremony. Back garden. Fairy lights. Cheap DJ. Too much cake. I remember looking at her in that simple white dress thinking, this is it. This is my person. This is the one thing in my life I will never lose. I wish I could go back and hug that version of me, because I had no idea how much losing her would cost. The first 3 years of our marriage were normal. Not perfect. Not movie material. We argued about stupid things. Laundry. Money. Whose turn it was to take the bins out. We made up quickly. We made each other tea after arguments. We still held hands in supermarkets. But then the pressure started to build. Work for me got heavier. Deadlines. Late nights. Emails at 10 p.m. Calls at 7 in the morning. Work for her shifted too. She moved from a small shop job into a marketing role that sounded impressive on paper, but mostly just meant she was stressed all the time. We both kept saying, once this project is over, things will calm down. They didn't. The distance didn't arrive overnight. It slipped in through the tiny spaces we didn't protect. We stopped eating together as often. We stopped going to bed at the same time. We stopped talking about how we actually felt and started talking about what we had to get done. One night, she sat on the edge of the bed, back turned to me, and said, "I feel like we're roommates, Ethan, not husband and wife." The words hurt, because she was right. "I know," I said. "I feel it too." For the first time, I was honestly scared. I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want to be another divorce story. I didn't want to wake up alone. So I said the thing I thought people in trouble were meant to say. Maybe we should try therapy. She was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded. "Yeah," she said softly. "I think we should." I took that as a good sign. Because people who want to leave don't agree to therapy, right? We found him online. Dr. James Carter, couples specialist, 15 years experience. His photo on the website looked friendly. Gray hair, kind eyes, soft smile, the kind of man you'd trust to tell you hard things nicely. Our first appointment was on a Thursday evening. His office was on the second floor of an old brick building in the city center. The waiting room smelled like coffee and furniture polish. Olivia was nervous. She kept twisting her wedding ring around her finger. "You sure about this?" she whispered. I nodded. "Yeah," I said. "If there's a way back, I want to find it." Dr. Carter came out to greet us himself. "Ethan? Olivia?" he asked. We both stood up. He shook our hands, one by one, with that calm sort of warmth therapists seem to practice in a mirror. "Come in," he said. "Make yourselves comfortable." His office was soft. Muted colors. Tissues on the table. Two chairs side by side. He sat opposite us, notepad in hand, legs crossed. "So," he said gently, "tell me why you're here." Olivia looked at me. I looked at her. "You start," she murmured. I took a breath. "I feel like we've drifted," I said. "We don't talk like we used to. We're busy. We're tired. We're tired. We're stuck. And I don't want to be stuck. I want my marriage back." Dr. Carter nodded, wrote something down. And you? He asked Olivia. She stared at her hands. I feel alone, she said quietly. Even when he's next to me. We're in the same room, but it's like he's somewhere else. On his phone. In his head. With his work. Her voice shook on that last word. Guilt pricked my chest. We talked for an hour. We talked about childhood, attachment, stress, expectations. Dr. Carter listened. He didn't take sides. Didn't tell either of us we were wrong. At the end of the session, he said, I think there's a lot of love here. You both still care. That's a good sign. If you're willing to do the work, I believe this can be repaired. I walked out of that office later, hopeful. For the first time in months, I felt like we had a plan. I had no idea that the man who just promised to help us fix our marriage would eventually be the one my wife started texting in the middle of the night. For the first few weeks, therapy helped. We went once a week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. We talked about communication, about making time, about listening instead of waiting to reply. We did the homework. We wrote letters to each other. We tried to go on one date a week. We agreed on small changes. I started leaving my phone in another room after 8 p.m. She started telling me when she felt overwhelmed instead of going silent. We even laughed together in one of the sessions about how bad we both were at saying, I need help. After one appointment, as we walked down the stairs, she slipped her hand into mine. I'm glad we're doing this, she said. Me too, I replied. I meant it. Then Dr. Carter suggested we each do one individual session. Just to explore your personal patterns, he said. It can be helpful to understand yourselves as individuals to support you as a couple. It sounded reasonable. So we agreed. I went first. We spent 50 minutes talking about my fear of failing, how I always try to fix everything, how uncomfortable I am when people are upset with me. I walked out feeling raw, but understood. The next week, it was Olivia's turn. She seemed nervous in the car. What if he thinks I'm the problem? She asked. He's not there to blame anyone, I said. He's just there to listen. She went in. I waited in the car, scrolling on my phone, listening to a podcast, trying not to overthink. When she came out, her eyes were red. I reached for her hand. You okay? I asked. She nodded, quickly wiping under her eyes. Yeah, she said. It was intense. Good, but intense. We drove home in silence. That night, she was quieter than usual. I didn't push. I told myself to be patient, to let the process do its work. Therapy was opening things. That was the point, right? After that individual session, something changed. At first, it was small. Our shared therapy sessions became less about we and more about Ethan. Dr. Carter started saying things like, Ethan, do you see how your need to fix might make Olivia feel criticized? Or Ethan, when you shut down, Olivia feels abandoned. He wasn't wrong, not completely, but the balance shifted. I left more and more sessions feeling like the broken one. One evening, as we walked back to the car, I joked, think he's secretly on your side. I meant it lightly, a half laugh. Olivia didn't laugh. She frowned. That's not fair, she said. Is this finally saying things I've been trying to say for years? I put my hands up. I'm not saying he's wrong, I said. I'm just saying it feels like I'm the only one getting homework now. She shook her head. You're taking it personally, she muttered. It was such a small exchange. So easy to brush off. Then more things piled up. She started staying behind after sessions. Just a quick question, she'd say. I'll be right out. 5 minutes. 10. Once 15. When she finally came out, she'd smile like nothing happened, but her face would still be flushed. What were you talking about? I asked once. Just some stuff I needed to clarify, she said. What stuff? Personal things from my individual session, she replied. You don't have to know every detail, Ethan. The way she said, you don't have to, stung more than I expected. We were there to learn to be more open. Instead, I started to feel more and more shut out. Her phone habits changed too. She started keeping it closer, putting it face down, smiling at it, then locking it quickly when I walked into the room. If I looked at her for too long, she'd say, Why are you staring like that? Do you not trust me? I'd shake my head. It's not that, I'd say. I'm just worried. We're fragile right now. I notice everything. She'd sigh. You're so anxious these days, she'd mumble. You make everything heavy. I started to wonder if maybe she was right. if maybe I was the problem. I didn't know yet that my instincts were trying to drag me toward the truth. The first clear crack didn't come from her phone. It came from our insurance. We had to submit receipts from therapy sessions for partial reimbursement. I handled most of that because I'm the boring one who remembers logins. One afternoon, a month or so after Olivia's individual session started, I got an email, subject line, "Your recent claim summary, mental health services." I clicked. It opened a PDF with dates, providers, and amounts. Standard stuff. But as I scanned the list, something strange caught my eye. There were more sessions listed than I remembered attending. I counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. We had been going once a week together. That matched. But then there were 4 additional charges from Dr. James Carter on days we definitely hadn't gone as a couple, all under Olivia's name. I checked my calendar. The dates lined up with the days she'd said she was working late. I told myself it made sense. She'd probably booked extra individual sessions. Maybe she'd forgotten to mention them. But something about that didn't sit right. We had talked about money, about budgets, about how therapy wasn't cheap. Why would she secretly book extra sessions without telling me? I stared at the email for a long time. Part of me said, ask her. Another part said, if you ask, she'll say you're snooping again. She'll say you're controlling. She'll say you don't trust her. I closed the laptop. I tried to let it go. For 3 days, I tried. On the 4th, I couldn't ignore it anymore. We were sitting on the sofa, half watching some cooking show, half scrolling on our phones. My heart was pounding like I'd done something wrong. I took a breath. Liv? I said. Yeah? She replied, eyes still on her phone. I got an email from the insurance. She didn't look up. Okay? It shows a few extra sessions with Dr. Carter, I said. On days I didn't go. Were those extra individual ones you booked? Her jaw tightened. She locked her phone slowly. Yes, she said. Is that a problem? No, I said quickly. I just didn't know. We could have talked about it, that's all. She rolled her eyes. Do I need your permission to go to therapy now? She asked. The way she said permission made me flinch. That's not what I said, I replied. I just thought we were being open. With everything going on, I assumed if you were going more, you'd tell me. She huffed. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd react like this, she said. Like what? I asked. Like asking a question. Like making it about you, she shot back. I needed extra support. I'm dealing with a lot, Ethan. It's not always about your feelings. I bit the inside of my cheek. I'm not saying it is, I said. I just felt weird finding out from an email. That's all. She stood up. I can't do this, she muttered. You twist everything into an attack. I finally find someone who helps me, and you're jealous of him. The word hit me. Jealous? I repeated. I'm not jealous of him, Olivia. He's our therapist. She snorted. Exactly, she said. He listens. He understands. He doesn't make me feel insane for needing help. She walked out of the room, leaving me there with my confusion and a TV chef shouting about garlic. I sat there feeling like I'd just been spun around. I'd asked one question about money. I walked away feeling like I'd committed a crime. That was the night I started to wonder if maybe this therapist had too much power. 2 weeks later, I found the thing I couldn't rationalize away. It was almost midnight. I couldn't sleep. Olivia was in the bathroom, having a long shower, as she called it. Her phone was on her nightstand, plugged in, face up. That was unusual enough on its own. I was not looking for anything. I was staring at the ceiling, counting the tiny cracks, trying not to think about how far away she felt. Then, the screen lit up. One notification. Message preview. From a number not saved as a name, just digits. The message said, can't stop thinking about earlier. You're brave. You deserve to feel wanted. My stomach dropped. It could have been anyone. A friend, a colleague, a spam text. But deep down, I knew. The tone, the timing, that you deserve to feel wanted. I leaned over to see the full number. My heart raced. I recognized the last 3 digits. I had seen them in every email confirmation from his office. It was Dr. Carter's number. I didn't open the message. I didn't scroll. I didn't touch anything. I just stared at those words. can't stop thinking about earlier. Earlier when? Earlier where? Earlier what? The shower cut off. I lay back down, heart pounding. She came out in a towel, hair wet, scrolling on her phone. The message had obviously come through now to her unlocked screen. She froze for a second. Then her thumbs moved quickly. She locked it, put it face down. I washed her. She avoided my eyes. You okay? I asked. Yeah, she said. Why? You seem tense, I said. She shrugged. Just tired, she replied, climbing into bed. She turned away from me. I lay there, staring at the back of her head, feeling like there was a glass wall between us. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept seeing that sentence every time I closed my eyes. Can't stop thinking about earlier. The next morning, I felt sick. My brain ran in circles. You're overreacting, one voice said. You saw one text. Could mean anything. Another voice said. Your wife has been hiding sessions. Your therapist has been suddenly very protective of her. You just saw a message from his number, late at night, telling her she deserves to feel wanted. Which version of reality was I supposed to choose? The one that made me feel safe, or the one that matched the facts? On my lunch break, I did something I never thought I'd do. I opened our phone bill. We had a shared plan. I normally hardly looked at it, just paid it, but this time I scrolled through the itemized list. Dates, times, numbers. I searched for Dr. Carter's number. It showed up more than 20 times in the past month. Not just Thursdays, not just during office hours, late at night, early in the morning. Durations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Almost all initiated from her phone. My chest felt tight. I checked my own call log from the same period. 0. I had never once received a direct call from him. All scheduling had been done by email or through the receptionist. Why would my wife be calling him for half an hour at 11:30 at night? I took a screenshot, then another. I wasn't looking for drama. I was looking for proof that I wasn't losing my mind. That evening, on the drive to therapy, I watched them both carefully. Dr. Carter greeted us as usual. Come in. Come in, he said. Have you both been this week? I sat down. Olivia sat beside me, but further away than she usually did. He looked between us. Something feels tense, he said. Who wants to start? I opened my mouth, then closed it. I looked at Olivia. Do you want to go first? I asked. She shook her head. No, she said. You go. I inhaled slowly. I found something, I said. On our phone bill. Dr. Carter's expression didn't change. Oh? He asked. Your number, I said. To my wife's phone. A lot. At night. I felt Olivia stiffen next to me. I continued. And last night, I saw a message pop up on her phone. From your number, saying you can't stop thinking about earlier, and that she deserves to feel wanted. The room went very quiet. I heard the clock ticking on the wall. Is there something going on between my wife and my therapist? I asked, my voice shaking, that I should know about? Olivia's cheeks flushed bright red. Dr. Carter cleared his throat. I think, he said slowly, we should be careful about making assumptions, Ethan. I laughed once. It came out sharp. I'm not making assumptions, I said. I'm reading phone logs. Olivia finally spoke. You went through our phone bill, she demanded. Do you realize how invasive that is? Invasive, I repeated. More invasive than you calling our therapist 20 times a month without telling me? She glared at me. He's been helping me, she snapped. You know I've been struggling. You know that. I turned to Dr. Carter. Is that true? I asked. Have you been having extra sessions with her on the phone? Off the books? At night? He shifted in his chair. I provide support to my clients when they are in distress, he said. Sometimes that means phone calls outside scheduled hours. It's part of the therapeutic relationship. Do you provide that for all your clients? I asked. Or just the ones you text about deserving to feel wanted? His jaw tightened. I think your insecurity is coloring your interpretation, he said. There it was again. Insecurity. Paranoia. The same words Olivia had been using on me at home. I felt my hand shake. This is not insecurity, I said. This is data. This is timestamps. This is money leaving our account for hidden sessions. This is a message at midnight from a married woman's therapist talking about how she deserves to feel wanted. I looked at Olivia. Is anything romantic or physical happening between you two? I asked. Her eyes filled with tears. She looked at Dr. Carter. He looked back. That tiny, silent exchange destroyed me. Answer me, I said quietly. She broke. Yes, she whispered. The word echoed in my head. Yes. How long? I asked. A few weeks, she said. I turned to him. And you? I asked. How long have you been crossing every ethical line you swore to uphold? He didn't answer. Olivia spoke instead. It didn't start like that, she said quickly. I was just honest with him. I told him things I couldn't tell you. He understood me. He saw me. He was paid to see you, I said. That was the job, not to touch you, not to text you, not to do whatever you did that he couldn't stop thinking about. She started to cry harder. Wasn't planned, she sobbed. I didn't mean for it to happen. I stared at her. You keep saying that, I murmured. Both of you. I didn't mean for it to happen, but you meant every call, every text, every time you hid your phone, every time you lied about working late. You meant all of that. Dr. Carter tried to regain control. We are in a highly charged situation, he said. We should slow down. Take a breath. This doesn't have to be framed as betrayal. Sometimes in therapy, feelings get transferred. Lines can blur. What matters now is how we process this. I actually felt my mouth fall open. You're trying to process the fact that you slept with my wife, I asked. Like it's a shared learning moment? He spread his hands. We are all human, he said softly. I stood up. No, I said. Some of us are human. Some of us are predators. He flinched. Olivia grabbed my arm. Please, she cried. Don't go. We can talk about this. We can fix it. Fix it, I repeated. You had an affair with the person we hired to help us fix our marriage. Do you have any idea how insane that is? Tears blurred my vision. I pulled my arm free. I'm done, I said, with both of you. I walked out of the office. Neither of them followed. The ride home is a blur in my memory. I remember traffic lights. I remember my hands gripping the steering wheel. I remember my own voice in my head saying, I told you something was wrong. I told you, you weren't crazy. I didn't go back to the house that night. I went to a cheap hotel near the motorway, the kind with stiff sheets and a TV that always defaults to the shopping channel. I lay on the bed, fully dressed, staring at the ceiling. I kept seeing it. Olivia's eyes flicking to Dr. Carter, the way he said insecurity, the message on her phone, the call logs. At some point, I realized I was shaking. My phone buzzed. 20 missed calls from Olivia, 7 from an unknown number I recognized instantly as his. Text messages. Ethan, please talk to me. Ethan, it's not what you think. I'm worried about you. From him, if you want to discuss this as adults, I am available. I turned the phone off. For the first time in months, the silence in my life felt honest. The next morning, I went home when I knew she'd be at work. I packed a bag. Clothes, toiletries, important papers. I looked around the house. I thought therapy would save. The blanket we bought together, the photo frames with our wedding pictures, the appointment card for our next Thursday session still stuffed to the fridge. I took that card down, tore it in half, left both pieces on the table. That evening, I met with a different kind of professional, a lawyer. I told him everything. His face darkened when I mentioned the affair with the therapist. That is extremely serious, he said, on his part, legally, and on hers if we're talking about a divorce case. I hadn't said the word divorce out loud yet. It tasted bitter and metallic in my mouth. I don't know what I'm doing, I admitted. I just know I can't go back in there and pretend this is something we can repair. He nodded. You don't have to decide everything today, he said, but you should file a formal complaint against the therapist, and you should protect yourself, financially, emotionally. Document what you have. Screenshots, emails. You've been gaslit. You need facts to hold on to. That word again, gaslit. I walked out of his office with a folder in my hand and a decision in my chest. I had spent months being told I was too sensitive, too suspicious, too insecure. Now I was done apologizing for seeing what was real. Filing a complaint felt heavy. I sent an email to the regulatory body listed on Dr. Carter's website. I attached the screenshots, the phone bill, the insurance summary, the message preview I had managed to capture by recreating the notification from my memory. By asking the phone company for logs, I wrote down dates, times, descriptions of what had happened in that final session. I hit send. A week later, they replied. They took it seriously. They asked for permission to access our therapy records. They said there would be an investigation. I didn't do it to ruin his life. I did it because he had taken advantage of ours. Olivia showed up at my temporary flat 3 times in the first week. I didn't open the door. The fourth time, I answered. She stood there, eyes swollen, makeup ruined. You're really doing this, she said. Yes, I replied. You reported him, she accused. Yes. Do you have any idea what that could do to his career? She cried. I stared at her. He had no problem what this would do to our marriage, I said. Why are you protecting him more than you ever protected me? Her shoulders dropped. I'm not protecting him, she said weakly. I don't know how it got this far. I shook my head. I do, I said. Every time you felt seen by him, you stepped a little further away from me. Every time you texted him at midnight, you stepped further away. Every time you lied to me about where you were, you stepped away. This didn't just happen. You walked there. She wiped her nose. Can we at least talk? She pleaded. Can we try another therapist? Someone neutral? We could rebuild. With what? I asked. With who? I don't even recognize you anymore, Liv. The person I married would have run out of that office the second he crossed the line. Not stayed. Not lied. Not thised. Tears spilled down her face. I did love you, she whispered. I believe you did, I said. But love without respect is just a nice word. And there wasn't much respect left by the time you were sneaking calls with Dr. Carter. She looked at the floor. What do you want me to do? She asked. Sign the papers when they come, I said quietly. She flinched. Is that really it? She asked. For us, yes, I replied. For you, I don't know. Maybe one day you'll sit in front of a therapist you're not sleeping with and figure out why you chose this. It sounded cruel. I didn't mean it cruelly. I meant it honestly. She left without saying goodbye. I'm not going to pretend that leaving fixed everything. It didn't. The nights were still long. The bed was still cold. There were days I missed her so much I thought about calling. There were days I missed who I was before all this. The man who believed therapy was always safe. The man who believed his wife would never pick someone else over him. But slowly, the air around me felt less heavy. I started going to my own therapist. A woman this time, not because all men are bad, but because my nervous system said, not another James. She listened. She didn't make excuses for what had happened. She didn't say, we're all human, like that wiped out responsibility. She said, you were betrayed by two people who held positions of trust. Your pain is real. Your anger is real. And the fact that you still doubt yourself is a sign of how deeply you were gaslit. Bit by bit, I stopped asking, was I overreacting? And started asking, what did I ignore to keep the story that we were okay? I ignored her phone habits. I ignored my own discomfort when she stayed behind with him. I ignored the small signs. Because I wanted to believe that if we were doing the right thing by going to therapy, we were safe. We weren't. Therapy is a tool. In the wrong hands, even a tool for healing can become a weapon. If you're listening to this, and you're in therapy with your partner, and you feel that twist in your gut when the therapist seems overly interested in one of you, if your partner suddenly starts protecting their privacy with the therapist more than they protect your trust, if you see late night calls, secret messages, extra sessions you didn't know about, please, do not let them convince you that you are crazy for noticing. You are not crazy. You are not jealous of the therapist. You are not afraid of growth. You are allowed to say, this feels wrong. You are allowed to ask, why are there boundaries with me that don't seem to exist with them? Healthy therapy builds boundaries. Unhealthy therapy blurs them. Healthy love makes room for your concerns. Unhealthy love uses your concerns as weapons against you. My name is Ethan. My wife had an affair with our therapist. For a long time, I thought that made me pathetic. Like it was some cosmic joke. Like I was the idiot who trusted too much. The man who literally paid for his own betrayal. Now I see it differently. It means I was willing to try. I was willing to say, we're in trouble. Let's get help. I was willing to be vulnerable in front of a stranger if it meant saving my marriage. They are the ones who chose to abuse that, not me. If you have been cheated on, especially by people who made you feel crazy for even suspecting it, hear me, their betrayal is not proof that you are unlovable. It is proof that you were brave enough to love fully. They were not brave enough to handle that love honestly. That's on them, not you. One day, you will sit across from someone who doesn't punish you for asking questions. Someone who doesn't call you insecure when you notice patterns. Someone who says, thank you for telling me how you feel. Let's figure this out together instead of running to someone else in the dark. Until then, take your time, heal at your own pace. And please remember this, if you feel like something is off, and every time you speak up, they tell you it's just in your head, it might not be your mind you need to question. It might be your company. You are not crazy for seeing what is real. You are only crazy if you see it and then go back to people who already showed you exactly who they are.